Aloha, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is Sprinklebeard. I'm going to be your host for today. We are going to be talking about a little bit about campaign stuff and then artifacts specifically. So this is going to be 90% artifact, but like 3% campaign, and then the rest is just me rambling. So, as you were playing through the game and you were playing through your campaign on normal, understand you were not necessarily designed to beat Chapter 8 on normal. This was the original end of the game. Ideally for newer players, so if you've been playing anything less than a month, I would say your first major target should be getting up to N8-4. So that's normal campaign, stage 8, the 4th level. This will give you the easiest EXP to farm for the most amount per stamina spent, or energy, whatever we want to call the little lightning bolt. This will be your first major checkpoint in the game, because if you can get to this level and then if you can consistently 3-star it, you now have your first milestone on the account of, cool, I can farm EXP, I can level champions up, and I can 6-star champions. I can now make food and such to progress through the game. Once you get to that point, at any point after that, this is completely up to you. If you're like me and you're following the storyline tab on the main screen, I will show where that is. It will eventually send you into hard mode. Hard mode is specifically not that hard. Recommended BP, and I'm on the 3rd stages, is at 88,000, which is not significant. A lot of times, if you have just one 6-star champion on your account, that is a damage dealer. You should have no problem pushing and bullying your way through a lot of these levels. The big gimmick on hard mode is, instead of you having access to all 10 of your champions, they reduce you to 6. If you want to 3-star these levels, you need to be able to do it with 6 champions. So that is why I say push your normal content first to the point where you can just, continuously make 6-star champions, or, be leveling people up to their maximum level so that they're getting the most from their gear. Then I would go into hard mode. The biggest reason you want to go into hard mode is that instead of EXP raids, there's now gold raids. Gold raids are just like EXP raids. At first, they're not fantastic, but it is a source of just pure EXP, or in this case, pure gold. And then as you get further down, it gets more and more efficient. So specifically, where I just got to in the campaign, ending campaign 2, we unlocked artifacts, and I said that's what I want this video to be focused on. So down here in the lower left, this is your storyline. This is, if you don't know what to do in the game, slowly chip away at these. This is the tutorial. This is your guide of what you should be accomplishing. It is very easy to outpace this storyline guide, but at the very end, you do get a free legendary champion, Volca. She's supposed to be fantastic. I see her occasionally in the arena. I still think that the game's new enough that not everybody has her. All right, artifacts. So we're going to go over here to raids. And now we have unlocked artifact material raids. So what are artifacts and why should we care about them? Artifacts are kind of like a secondary passive. So here I'm going to start on Wrath because I gave him our one and only artifact. We now have this final tab open of artifact. So here we have Ancestral Teaching. This is an item kind of like your equipment, if you will. So on this, it has a scale of 1 to 10, and then after 10, I can promote it. There are stipulations to that, and we'll get to that probably in a later video. For new players, the big thing you need to know, this is an item that we equip, and this says when there is an ally within 1 tile, increases attack by 8%. Now, the thing is, this won't really show up here in your stats or here in your battle power. What will show up is here I am getting HP and I am getting attack. Yes, it's not a crap ton of HP and attack, but it does add up. And then as we enhance it, right, our HP and our attack does go up by a little bit. And we all know that these numbers, every little bit can count and help us progress further. So here, I'm just going to go ahead and enhance this. These are meteorite fragments that you get basically from anything you do involving artifacts. You'll probably gain enough of these fragments. And then as you get up higher in like guild stuff, you eventually get some other pieces of meteorites. The big thing is that, again, this number, this increased attack by 8%, is not calculated here. It is only calculating this HP and flat attack boost onto your champion. Once you summon your champion, and then if you summon somebody next to them, they then get that 8%. So it's that 8% after the fact. So on Wrath here on this account, his true attack, right? So his base stat is 4,683. Then with the gear, then with the artifact, then this says collection progress, which is your Pantheon. I have him up over 9,000. Yes, that is correct. I just said over 9,000. With that being said, he's now going to get the 8% after the fact, right? After this 9,000. That 8% of 4,600 is a lot less than 8% of 9,900. So, this is where artifacts can help you a lot. Are there junky artifacts? Absolutely. So down here across the bottom where we have unequip and enhance, to equip an artifact, by the way, you can just click right here where the artifact would be placed. Because I only have one, it's not showing me any other options. But your first triangle will look like this. You know, you click on triangle, it'll show you what's available. Equip your artifact. If we need to craft more, we can go down here to forge. Now, here we do have to forge, we do have to farm the artifact level to get more. I will tell you straight up, I wouldn't even really bother with the epic forge. Ancestral Teaching, which is just the artifact I showed off, is considered one of the best artifacts in the game. And I say it loosely like that as it is extremely easy to activate it, right? Just have another champion within one tile of the champion equipped with it. It is purple, so it's easy to farm for. We're going to need copies of it later, so that is why we mentioned that. And then on top of that, because it's purple, it is the easiest to get farming materials for. We don't have to worry about yellow. We don't have to worry about red. However, as we get yellow, I'm already at stage 11 just by having a few 6-star champions on this account. We can forge and we can get better chances for legendary ones. The legendary ones are going to be interesting. So here we got Soul Eating Crystal. This is a class exclusive, so only my mages can use this. Restores 3% rage when killing the target. And then there's a cooldown of 5 seconds. So if I put this on Comet, Comet kills something, he then gains 3% of his rage back. Then he has to wait 5 seconds before this can activate again. But more specifically, the HP and attack on this is much better than that epic one. So obviously, even though Ancestral Teachings is going to be good in like every situation, it's one of those things that you will find some legendaries that are super synergistic with certain champions. Here I did get 80 meteorites. I'm actually not sure from where, so we're going to go ahead and craft 2 more. So we got Scarlet Hunt. This is actually considered one of the best artifacts in the game. Deals 20% extra damage to targets inflicted with bleed. Bleed is specifically used on high HP targets. So Dragon is the most common one. For most people, you will have Komodo on your account. Komodo should obviously receive your Scarlet Hunt because Komodo has bleed in his kit. This way you're not depending, if you give this to like your Comet, who would probably benefit a lot more from that 20% extra damage, but he doesn't have a way to activate the bleed. So then you would always have to pair him with Komodo. You'd have to wait for that ulti to go off. You might have to time Comet's ulti with it. So for most players, this is going to be perfectly fine on Komodo. And then as you get some of the better ones, so on my main account, I have Salazar. He has a chance to bleed on his basic attack. So I've given it to him. Whenever he has a chance to bleed, and his ultimate has a guaranteed bleed in it, he basically is constantly upping his own damage by 20%. But again, it is situational. So, fantastic artifact. Absolutely love it. Then here we crafted another one, and it is a legendary. So it's Nightmare Serpent, class exclusive, so this is only for my defenders. Taking damage 5 times restores HP equal to 3% of your maximum HP. This effect can only happen 1 time every 4 seconds. This is ironic that we were just doing our artifact raid and our Azor here was actually struggling to tank. So this makes perfect sense to give him this healing artifact. So now as he's taking damage, he now can self-heal. I really wish I had that on my other account. But this is one of those moments too. Again, it's a lot of fun getting some of these artifacts and then having to decide, hey, whom should get what? Because obviously this 8% would probably be better on Comet, since I use Comet in a lot of content and he can clear off more small troops more frequently. However, I do like him having a higher base damage and higher HP, and this is still useful. Nobody else that I really have is going to take great effect of this. Comet is always killing off targets, so this will be good enough for now for me to use. I do not have Komodo on this account, I think. I do. So again, if I wanted to, I could give him this this Scarlet Hunt. Because I'm currently and actively not using him, instead of putting it on him, we're going to put it on Valkyrie, who is our legendary fighter. Again, just for this extra HP and extra attack stat. I could even do the same thing for Wrath here. Actually, you know what? Wrath actually would be better with it. So instead, I will give Valkyrie this Ancestral Teaching, and I'll give Wrath this Scarlet Hunt, even though it kind of doesn't make the most sense at the moment, right? He's not getting that 20% extra damage. Maybe that will help me, encourage me to get Komodo up. This account has gotten really strange on me, so we're doing a lot of weird, goofy things on it. That is your basics to artifacts. Yes, if you are not able to get down to the point where you're able to farm up yellow crystals, absolutely it might be worth it for you to forge some of these basic ones. The reason that I don't encourage it, so Ancestral Teachings, they are perfectly fine. Those are probably going to be the ones you want to equip on everybody. But you can get some very basic ones like this, right? HP will be increased by 400 upon entering combat. Now, this one does give you 400 HP, so that's an extra 800 HP. Obviously, best for our defenders. Or if we have a champion that's constantly dying, like Lily, maybe that extra HP will help her. Yes, these extra stats are useful. I am telling you, though, that you'll end up, like, this is kind of like a junk item, right? It's almost like a trap. Don't spend too many resources on it. Don't be heavily focused on, well, I have this resource, I should spend it. Yes, if this is something that helps you get to your next series of like being able to farm for yellow, by all means craft these items and definitely use them. So in this case, I got a few Ancestral Teachings. So now if I want to, I could put those on some of the fighters that I'm using. So in my case, I'm using champions like Ein. I didn't mean to back out.
For a missile to the noggin. My blade is as sharp as death.
Jankar would be another one, right? This can help add you a whole bunch of 8% damages and then just some extra base damage. Can make your champions a little bit tankier. So by no means am I saying that the purple ones are terrible and shouldn't be used. What I'm saying is don't focus all your energy farming these purple ones. Farm them and use them just to the point that you can push on to the next content. If you cannot push on to the next content, I would encourage you to focus on 6-starring some of your champions. Guys, I hope this was helpful. If it was not, leave me a comment and I can maybe better explain something or help you. Again, it is a gacha game, so understand that your rolls are going to be random. There's no guarantees. You just make the best out of what you have. And when what you have is not enough, Just like in real life, sometimes you have to make something that will make your life easier. So in this video game, it is make a 6-star champion. In your real life, it is find a way that earns you more money. Turn a hobby into something that earns an extra $50. That's what I'm doing. That's why I stream. Guys, thank you for watching, and until that next time, ta-ta.